guys, AGC here. My lighting is probably terrible, but we'll do the best we can here. Anyway, wanted to do a video here on what's the difference. What do the pros know versus the recreational player know? There's a different way that they approach the table, the way they approach the game, and what they're looking for. And there's nothing wrong with either one of them. It's whatever you want to be at that time. Again, it's one thing, some of us don't get to Vegas all the time, so we may be a little fast and loose when we get to Vegas because that's our one chance, man. Some of us, if you have a casino close to home, you may, again, you can always come back another day. So I want to talk about 4 different parts of this. What type of player are you? What's your bankroll? How do you manage your bankroll? What sessions are, which is important, and strategies. So how do you approach the game? Okay, so let's talk about, first of all, what type of player are you? Are you a recreational player or are you a semi-pro player? Now again, I do not claim to be a pro whatsoever. I'm a serious recreational player, I'll say. I get into this a little much, and I love studying. I love the game. I really enjoy it. I just like being there, for one thing. I'm not looking to retire on it. That's not where I'm going. But anyway, recreational players, they're there for fun, man. They're there for the atmosphere, the free drinks, the camaraderie with everybody. They're just happy to be there. Again, anything comes, anything goes. You know what? It's just money. They can afford to lose it. And you know what? If we had a good time, it was worth the cost of admission, Now, pro players, they're a little bit different. They want to get in and get out, okay? They have a goal in mind. They get in there, and they know what they want to do, and they're going to take advantage of situations and pick their spots about when they want to play, how they want to play, and what they're going to play, okay? So there's a little bit different mindset. And again, I got to tell you what, one's not necessarily better than the other. Some of the people that are the luckiest are there just for fun. I mean, if you watch some of the people, Crap Strategies Live, he's got a good attitude. I like using him as an example. He loses sometimes, but you know what? That's just part of it. So it never seems like a terrible thing for him. And he keeps it fun. Those are the kind of people. Again, and a lot of times a lot of people believe in that superstition that the positive attitude, that's going to turn into something for you there. So just being positive, having a good time. You see those people, you go, geez, man, how do they make all that money? That's ridiculous. Do you see what they were throwing out there? Those are the guys that come by and put $300 on the field real quick and then leave with, a $12 and $900, and you're just like, geez, that was the stupidest thing I ever saw. But they had a good time, they had fun, they took their chance, and they left. But anyway, so pros, though, they have a goal in mind. They get in, they get out. They're not going to be there all day long. They're not going to try to outlast every table. They're not going to try to change. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So again, you need to think about what kind of player you are and what you're willing to do there. Now with that, some of that will be determined by your bankroll, okay? A recreational guy says, man, we're going to blow it all. We only live once. We're going to take some risky bets. We're going to throw horns out there. We're going to throw, hard ways out there for extra. We're going to do all kinds of crazy things because, we're just having fun, man. We're trying to go for something interesting. Now, a pro player, they come with something different. With their bankroll, they're going to set a limit. So they know what their bankroll is, okay? And usually what's recommended is that you have 10 times the amount of your bet. So let's say the amount of bets that you usually put out there, you put a $10 pass, you put a 6 and 8 out there for $12, and then maybe a 5 and 9. So you have about $54. So you want to do 10 times that. That's what they recommend. That's $540. That gives you 10 shooters to run around the table. We'll talk about that too. To get a shot at winning something, okay? That's going to leave you in the game a little while to where you're not immediately out, and you have a little time to play there and adjust to what's going on, okay? So that's what people usually recommend, 10 times your normal bet. Now, you also have to know what you're comfortable with and pick your comfort zone. I mean, if you want to bet $54 and that's $540, but you don't have that, well, then don't play that. There's other options for you. If you'd rather put like $10 out of time and you only want to spend $100, go to the bubble machine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can play at the bubble machine. Go to the $5 table if there is one, okay? But don't upsell yourself. Don't just say, well, there's only a $15 table. I'm going to give it a shot and hopefully I'll make it. Pros don't do that. They stay within their comfort zone, okay? They don't say, I usually have a $5 bet out there, but I'm going to make it 15 this time. My bankrolls out in 3 shooters, and then I'm mad and I got to go home and I drove all the way out here for nothing. Pros don't do that. Stay in your comfort zone. Do what you enjoy, okay? It's your game. Who cares what everybody else is doing? Do your thing and enjoy it. That's why we're there, okay? The other thing is, they don't dig in their pocket. They don't say, hey, listen, I had a $200 bankroll, and that's what I was going to spend. I lost that, but I know I can get it back. If I just do 200 more. No. They don't dig back in, and they don't chase losses. They say, you know what? I know this session didn't work out for me, but there's going to be a million more sessions. I will live to see another day. I don't have to pull it all out of the casino today. You know what? This casino is going to be here tomorrow. Okay? There's going to be more rolls. So, the pros, they know to set their limit, and not chase it. They know that some days are better than others, and every day it doesn't have to be your day. It's not going to happen. You're not going to win every time. Now, hopefully, you can win more than you lose. Does that happen? I don't know. I'm not always that guy, okay? Some days are better than others. But a good thing to do is also, if you take a bankroll, this is recommended. I don't necessarily follow it, but if your bankroll is really 100, take 200. Cash in for 200, only play 100. So if you do lose your entire amount, you still have something to cash in. It's really a mental thing. A lot of people, it's better than going out busted and nothing in your pockets. At least you still got something in your pocket. But again, that's something people recommend. It's really a mental thing. I don't necessarily do it, but sometimes I do know it feels better to cash out with something rather than zero and going to that machine and getting pennies out, the 58 cents that you have left from your 100 you put in there. But anyway, that's a good thing to think about too. Sometimes take more than your bankroll, but only play half of it and cash out. Now, another thing pros do is they set a win limit, okay? They're not there to see how much money they can possibly take out at one time. They know that, this is how much I'm going to win and I'm going to stop. And if you ever notice like when you set a win limit of $100, you got $91. This actually happened to me the other day. You got $91 and you only need 9 more and you've hit your limit. Well, and it seems like that 9 is the hardest 9 you ever made. Somehow you went up to 91 in a hurry, but that 9, you just can't get it. And you keep going down and back and forth and whatever. There's a time where you just say, hey, man, this is it. This is probably where I'm, there's always that place where it just seems like it plateaus and there's only so much you can do. So think about your win limit. A good idea is 30%. So if I put in $100 and I win $30, that's a pretty good place to stop. Now, again, there's more sessions. You don't have to stop there all the time. But you can say, hey, man, this is a pretty good session. I made 30%. Man, if I can make 30% return on my money in anything, stock market, any old time, that's a good return. I'd take it. And we'll talk about sessions with that too. So now, if the table is super smoking hot or whatever, maybe you play that $30 you got and just keep going. But again, there's always another roll. So that's a good way to go. You can also maybe have a little bit higher win limit based on your bankroll, okay? So if you got a $500 bankroll, 30% of that could be about $150. Maybe you go for $200, $250, something like that, because you're betting larger amounts. But anyway, that's a good thing to look. Let's talk about sessions, okay? Now, a session to me is the first thing I want to do when I get to a table, bubble machine, anything, is I want to qualify that table. I want to know what's going on. Now, you guys know I use the Bubble Craps tracker. I really like it, especially at the Bubble Craps machine. I can get an idea what's going on. And if you notice, this will tell me things. The big thing I look at, you see this median roll here. I'll highlight it. And you also see the trend here. Okay? And what I can see is this machine is averaging about 6 rolls and going out. I can see the longest roll was 24. So it's not going on a blistering, crazy run yet. I see other things like the horn lights lit, so a bunch of weird numbers are going. The field lights lit. Man, there's all kinds of things that tell me what this machine is basically doing, and I'll pick my strategy based on that. But when I sit down to my session, I know that 6 is pretty good, so I'm gonna be a little conservative. Now, if it was down to like 2 or 3, then I know I probably want to do a don't. But I want to qualify what's going on. Now, if you're at a table, what you want to do at the table, Buy in. You don't have to jump in right away. You can buy in and go around the table a couple times. See who's throwing what. If you notice one shooter just happens to be hot, and there's always those guys, he might even be a random guy. Who knows? There may be guys all set in there. You don't know. But kind of watch them a little bit. Are they able to get through 5, 6, 7 rolls? Or are they the guy that sevens out right away? I've been either one of those guys. You never know. But qualify what you're doing. So that's what the pros do. They don't just jump right in. They take a look and they see what's going on at the table, and they see what they want to do. They know who they want to bet on and not bet on. Some people only bet on themselves if they're the shooter, but there may be a couple of guys that are just hot there that night. That's the guy you want to go with. Okay? Now, the other thing that I look at with sessions is that the bubble machine can be 150 to 200 rolls is what I call a session. Now, through the testing that I've done and watching everything in there, what I'm doing with the bubble craps tracker, I'm looking for trends. Okay, so like when I talk about that median of 6, it seems like they're rolling an average of about 6. I'm looking for those trends. Once I get past about 150 to 200 rolls, the trends can start changing. And I gotta be honest, I'm not great at that. I usually go and I have something I want to play, and sometimes I try to force it. And that's a horrible, horrible thing to do. That's something the pros don't do. Okay? But you're able to be adaptable and flex. But if you go to that machine and you roll 150, 200 rolls, then I'll take a break. Okay? I'm only going to play that much because I know hopefully I can stay within that trend and I'm not where it's turning. Because I know what I want to play. I know where I want to go. A session, again, I may play that much at the bubble machine, get up, take a walk for 20, 30 minutes, and then come back. See where the machine's at then. It may have changed. It may be the same. I don't know. But I know that it's always going to roll again. Okay? That machine is rolling 24 hours a day whether I'm there or not. I don't have to play every single thing. Don't be afraid to sit out. If you just want to watch a shooter go, yeah, you may miss the long one, but you know what? It's going to roll again. It's guaranteed. So that's another thing a pro does. They don't have to be on every hand. They don't have to get upset, oh, I would have had a 6. Well, you know what? That 6 is going to be there again another time, and hopefully you're there when it is that other time. Okay? Now, at the table, when I'm there, if I qualify the session, what I'm going to do is I want to go about 6 to 8 shooters, probably one time around the table, and see how I do. So that's going to give me a good thing. If I go around the table and I'm just treading water, I'm really not making anything. I'm not really down that much. I'm maybe down 10, 15 bucks or up 5, 10 bucks. You know what? I'll take a break. It's just not the time. It's one of those kind of choppy, tough tables that I'm just not going anywhere. If I lose half my bankroll, then I'm out. I don't think I missed that too. We need a loss limit too with your bankroll, right? So one of the things is if you lose half your bankroll, stop. That may be one of your loss limits. That's another thing a pro does. They don't go all the way to 0. They know how much what they want to lose. Because, again, you're picking your spots. If you know, hey, man, I jumped in and I'm starting to go up, that's great. Everybody's done it. I've done it all the freaking time. You go in, you're suddenly down $75, and now you're just working to get back to 0, right? That is annoying. It's much better when you sit down, and sometimes you make it back, but you think about, well, geez, I could have won $200 if I hadn't had to make it all back up. Wouldn't it be nice just to start that way? So if you set your loss on your bankroll, if you only go to half, sit it out, come back for another session. Hopefully you can jump in where you can start at the increase instead of having to fight your way back to even. That's not so fun. Okay, we've all done it. We've spent hours there trying to fight it back. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Okay, so at a table for sessions, I'll look at about 6 to 8 shooters. Now again, if it's still smoking hot, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to let them keep shooting. But that may be a good time to take a break and split out of there. Okay, now strategy. Recreational player, you're going to take a lot of risky bets. Okay, big bets, big returns, see what you can get. Throw me 5 on the horn high, yo. Give me all the hard ways for this, that, the other. Playing some of those risky bets. And again, if you're just having fun and you're, it's basically like walking by the roulette wheel and saying $100 on black and just seeing what happens. Now again, a pro player, They stick with the high percentages. They know what the good risk are, what the low percentages are. They're not going to take a lot of those risky bets that can kind of eat your bankroll. Now, it sure is nice to hit them. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of fun when you hit that hard six, but a pro player isn't going to take those risky bets. They're not going to hop everything all the time. They're going to play the high percentage bets, collect their money, and go on about their way, okay? The other thing is when you go to a table, you need to plan you need to have a plan for each scenario. The table may be cold. It may be choppy. It may be kind of in between. It may be a hot table. You need to have a strategy planned for each one of those possible tables. If it's a hot table, you need to have a good pressing strategy. You need to have a way to maximize your bets on that. Is it come bets with odds on them? Is it, do I press? Do I play the inside a little bit higher than the outside if you play a cross or something? I mean, there's lots of different ways to take a look at that. But make sure you have a plan for each. If I know it's a cold table, am I afraid to play the don't? Am I only a pass player? Well, you know what? The table goes both ways. Don't be afraid. I mean, just because people say don't players are terrible. No, it's not. It's fine. It's what's there, man. It's your money. You're trying to steal it from the casino, man. Give me that money. So don't be afraid to switch. Be flexible. I do this all the time. I have a strategy that I've tested at home a million times. I want to go to the casino. I want to play that strategy. Even though I know it's not a good time to play it, I'm going to play it anyway. And I end up losing a little bit. And I go, that's really stupid. Why was I playing this strategy that I know this isn't the time, even though I want to play it? You can't force a strategy, okay? Go with what is working at the time. And that's what a pro player knows how to do. They know how to switch around, okay? One of the things I look at too is, if I'm out there and I'm on the pass line or something and there's 2 7-outs in a row, man, I may reevaluate. Again, don't be afraid to sit out. Let it go a few times. Let the table settle down. If it's going all kind of crazy, man, this guy's, hit 3 points and then I got 2 7-outs. And then this guy only hit 1 point and it was only like 3 rolls and he 7'd out, take your time. Don't be afraid to sit out. Don't be afraid to watch the table and pick your spots, okay? That's what pro players know. Now, do I consider myself a pro? Not even close, okay? But I do love the game. I do like to study it. I do like to watch other people, and I've seen some people work it masterfully. They'll come in, they know when to change that this is not a pass table anymore, this is a don't player, and they go back to it. They know that, hey man, come out 7s have been pretty good, so they have some pretty good strategies for that. Again, you've got to really kind of pick and choose your spot, okay? So, hopefully this is some interesting stuff. I'd really like your opinion on how you do things. How do you manage your bankroll? How do you qualify sessions? How do you determine what at the table you like? How do you know to sit out a few? So if you get 2 7-outs in a row, do you take a break or do you fight back and try to double it? Again, martingale, man, that's a risky deal, but a lot of people do it. Okay, I'm not going to do it. That's, that's chase. Again, if you have unlimited bankroll, that's a whole nother story. I don't. So let me know what you think. What do you do? How do you determine your strategy? What kind of indicators do you find that make you change the way you're going to bet, that make you change your strategy, that make you say, hey, I'm going to take a break. I'm not coming back for another 20 minutes. This is no good. Sometimes you just say, you know what, I enjoyed the drive out here, but this isn't the day to play. What kind of indicators do you have to do that? Please let me know in the comments. It'd be really great to know about what's happening. So, again, I appreciate you guys watching, appreciate the subs, and until then, good luck out there.